evening. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. This is the Newshour Special Edition this Saturday evening, and I'm Heena Gambhir. Viewers, just imagine two politicians coming face to face after having recently called each other a communist lunatic, a stupid person, a despot, and someone with a fascist agenda. Next, imagine them sitting aside months of slinging insults and hammering each other's policies in the meeting to bury their proverbial hatchets. And then both virtually borrowing from the 1942 film Casablanca and actor Humphrey Bogart to describe their meeting as the beginning of a warm relationship. This is exactly how the much-awaited US President Trump and New York Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani meeting went at the Oval Office. Now, everyone present at the meeting was surprised. Trump had called Mamdani a 100% communist lunatic. Today, the US president pivoted from bashing Mamdani to predicting he will do a great job as mayor. In fact, first time appearing before the media, both looked absolutely relaxed, displaying a perfect rapport. Trump even declared he would finally feel comfortable moving back to New York with the 34-year-old Democratic Socialist running City Hall. Suddenly, there was a question for Mamdani, whether the mayor-elect thought the president was a fascist. Now, even before Mamdani could respond, smiling Trump interjected and said, "That's okay, you can just say yes. I've been called much worse than a despot, so it's not that insulting." Take a look at the surprise at the Oval Office that we got.
I appreciated the meeting with the president, and as he said, it was a productive meeting focused on a place of shared admiration and love, which is New York City. Appreciated the time with the president. I appreciated the conversation. I look forward to working together to deliver that affordability for New Yorkers.
I feel very confident that he can do a very good job. I think he is going to surprise some conservative people, actually, and some very liberal people. He won't surprise them because they already like him.
Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay. You can just say yes. Okay. It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
Now, it was a remarkable scene. It revealed the Republican president's recognition of the political potency of Mamdani's focus on economic policies that may benefit the working class. It was political tenacity at its best, as Trump's approval rating has tanked in recent weeks. Now, this bonhomie or Trump-Mamdani bromance won some admirers here in India. Congress MP Dr. Shashi Tharoor, who has spent a considerable amount of time in the US, saw this as an example of how a democracy should work. He, in fact, took to social media platform X to say, "This is how democracy should work. Fight passionately for your point of view in polls, but once it's over and people have spoken, learn to cooperate with each other in common interest of the nation." He even said he would love to see more of this in India, and he's trying to do his part. Now, this naturally attracted attention. The subtle hint wasn't lost. Many in the BJP felt it was a cryptic dig at Rahul Gandhi. The party saw this as a message to Rahul Gandhi, who has hurled personal attacks on the Prime Minister on numerous occasions. BJP specifically saw it as a direct message for Rahul Gandhi. Now, we have seen the kind of words that have been used by him for Prime Minister before as well as after elections. For example, he's used words like Narendra surrender, vote chori, Modi can dance for votes, panauti, pickpocket. Now, these are some of the words Rahul Gandhi has used for the Prime Minister. Taking a swipe at Rahul Gandhi, BJP asked, will the leader of opposition get Tharoor's message, Or will the party slap the Congress MP with another fatwa? Listen in.
Once again, Dr. Tharoor has chosen to remind Congress that they should put national interest above parivaric interest and should serve and behave democratically rather than behave like sore losers. He has put out a cryptic tweet highlighting the bonhomie, the camaraderie between Donald Trump and Mamdani, who were fiercely at each other's throat before elections, but came together quite harmoniously post-elections. And he reminds mostly Congress that how political parties may fight bitter political battles in the elections, but once that is over, they must come together to serve the national cause. He says that he is doing his bit, but is Congress doing its bit? Congress loses an election, it questions democracy.
So we ask, was this a subtle message by Dr. Tharoor to Rahul Gandhi? Earlier this month, remember, he lauded the Prime Minister for his Ramnath Goenka lecture, saying he was glad to have been in the audience. In October, he wrote an article for an international media outlet slamming dynastic politics as a grave threat to Indian democracy. Then in July, remember, he highlighted excesses during emergency, calling it the dark period of India's history. It's also a fact that Tharoor's fair play comments have not been well received by his party men. So we discussed tonight, is Tharoor a lone voice asking for politics to create constructive boundaries? Is it too much to expect that our political parties fight their opponents during elections and then in peacetime work as a team, irrespective of who rules where? Let's take these questions across to my guests who are joining us on the debate this evening. We have R.P. Singh, National Spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Tushar Gupta, who is a political analyst, Tehseen Poonawala, who is a political analyst. I'm also being joined by Dr. Akashdeep Muni, who is a political analyst as well. Good evening to all of you, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us here on this debate. Now, Tehseen Poonawala, I want to ask you, when you saw Dr. Tharoor's message on X, what do you think that message really was for? And also, how will you like to respond to the point that has been made by the BJP that this was actually a cryptic dig at leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi?
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Good evening to my fellow panelists and to all your viewers. Two aspects to it. Actually, when I saw the Trump-Mamdani pictures, I was quite happy and interaction after that, because I think that's how democracy and politics should be. We can come on Heena's debate, fight fiercely, and get out of the studio and have a cup of coffee together. And that's how it is. That's how our founding fathers saw it. They had differences of opinion, but they united. And that's how politics, by and large, has been. Right now, our nation politics is extremely polarized. I think Dr. Tharoor, and I know him well personally, I've interacted with him, I think was a general point, not making a dig at any political party per se, either the Congress or the BJP. But I do believe firmly that politics must be fight strongly, as Vajpayee used to say, कि मतभेद होना चाहिए, मनभेद नहीं होना चाहिए. After that, come back and be together. However, both political parties, both big factions, Congress and BJP, tend to be a little personal with each other. I don't think Dr. Tharoor was telling just the Congressies. He was also telling it to the other side.
Okay. Interesting. So, according to you, it was a general point Dr. Tharoor made. What do you think, Mr. R.P. Singh? Was it a generic point that Dr. Tharoor made? Because if you see the last line in his post, it says, I am trying to do my part. And we all know what he has been trying to do over the last couple of months.
Well, before that, he had written, I would love to see more of this in India. But let me, since the scene recalled of Vajpayee ji, let me show you a small clip of Vajpayee, very 30-second clip.
सत्ता का खेल तो चलेगा, सरकारें आएंगी, जाएंगी, पार्टियां बनेगी, बिगड़ेंगी, मगर ये देश रहना चाहिए, इस देश का लोकतंत्र अमर रहना चाहिए.
सत्ता का सुख आएगा, जाएगा, ये पार्टियां
राष्ट्रीय उद्देश्य पूरा नहीं कर लेंगे.
पार्टियां आएंगी, जाएंगी, परंतु ये देश रहना चाहिए, ये लोकतंत्र रहना चाहिए. This democracy should survive and this country should survive. That's more important. And then I still remember Prime Minister Modi ji, Nawaz Sharif in 2013-14 spoke ill about our Manmohan Singh ji. Said he's a Dhyati woman, And Prime Minister Modi categorically said it's unacceptable for the Prime Minister of Pakistan to use such language for Prime Minister of India. When it comes to nation, we stand united. The insult is insult to the India. Whereas, let's see the contrary point of view. Surgical strike, Modi खून की दलाली करता है, fake है. They said Mr. Sanjay Rupam that time with Congress. Mani Shankar Iyer and P. Chidambaram raised question on the surgical strike. I also remember 370. After application of 370, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, on basis of some news channel, said Kashmir mein khoon ka qatl o gairat beh rahi hai. There's a bloodbath happening in Kashmir. There's not a single drop of blood fell in Kashmir, but he said so because the issue of 370, which unites country, was political issue for him. Operation Balakot, how many were killed? This was a question asked by Rahul Gandhi. No one else than Rahul Gandhi demanded proof for it. Well, it's a question of national security. You are demanding proof for how many were killed, although you are indirectly raising question on the valor of the Indian Army. And he said PM is hiding behind the truth. Digvijay Singh said Balakot is a photoshopped thing which has been presented by the Air Force.
Right.
And had to tab par hogi, all limits were crossed when Operation Sindoor happened.
Right.
When there is question no less than Operation Sindoor. Although Shashi Tharoor was an odd person in the Congress who went worldwide and then supported the Operation Sindoor and said what he has to say about the nation.
Right.
So there's a level where you have to cross. And if you want me to give me little more history, then let's see how did Vajpayee ji reacted on various issues which are related to Indian security and
Mr. R.P. Singh, we all know about that history, you know, that you're talking about. Very quickly.
Give me a second.
Okay, very quickly, sir. Finish your point.
One second.
Yes, Tehseen,
Give me a second.
10 seconds, R.P. Singh.
He supported the 1991 financial reforms. He supported the 1991. Yeah. He supported the 1991 the financial reforms. He supported all major strikes by anti-terrorist strikes by the government of India. He supported the IPKF mission of the Rajiv Gandhi. He supported Pokhran. I mean, each and every time when it need to support war and peace deals, supported nuclear achievements, supported economic reforms. That's how, although they were the principal opposition to the Congress, they were rivals to the Congress. But when it comes to national interest, that should be above everything else.
Okay. Tehseen, quick rebuttal, then I'll go across to Tushar Gupta.
I don't want to get into rebutting everything else. This is the same BJP that got in the no confidence motion. On my first few appearances on Times Now against the nuclear deal, they bought in the no confidence motion along with the left loonies. I think the left are loonies, by the way. So this, I don't think we should go down that path. That's not our debate. Our debate is once again. Sing up, please. Once again, our debate is, and I agree. I agree the BJP can still be against the nuclear deal and I can be for it and we can have different points of view. The debate that we're debating today on Heena's show is after that, is it possible to be friends once we finish our political opposition or ideological opposition? Yes. And I again am reiterating, Dr. Tharoor's stand was for everybody. I can say the number of things that have been spoken recently badly about Mrs. Gandhi. Recently, let's not go down this victim card. The fact is, as an opposition and as a government, can we have a say to together? That's what we're talking about, not who did what politically. I think Singh Saab is missing the woods for the tree.
I really don't know who it was for, but Tehseen, it was definitely not for you. It was definitely not for you, Tehseen, because to be fair, I have seen you fiercely debating with some panelists and then later enjoying samosas and tea with them. So it was definitely not for you.
You know, it's true. I called Tushar right now. We didn't know we were going to be on the same show. I was coming from Mumbai and we were discussing something totally different. You can be friends and still have different political views.
Can't we have the same thing in politics as well as the point that Dr. Tharoor is also trying to make after seeing these, surprising visuals from the White House where two people who have literally called each other, things like communist, lunatic, Trump's biggest nightmare, etc., etc. The list is so long, and despite all of that, they both were seen together in the White House and literally, being nice to each other. I mean, of course, Mamdani did not praise Donald Trump, but Donald Trump had all praises for Mamdani. He called him Mr. Mamdani this time. Can't we have that in Indian politics? Is it too much to ask for? Tushar.
Who's that for?
Look, Heena, there are two Congress today. There are two versions of the Grand Old Party today before us. One is the Congress that genuinely wants to engage with the government, any government, be it the center or the state government, on terms of policy, on terms of people's welfare, on terms of the betterment of the country. But there is a minority within the Congress that controls the entire majority of Congress, which is led by Rahul Gandhi, so caught up in his saddest narcissism and his denial of his own electoral incompetence that he'll never be able to behave the way Trump and Mamdani are behaving. You look at how he addresses the prime minister. I'm going for the lowest hanging fruit. Forget the policy disagreements, forget the political disagreements. You just look at how he was addressing the prime minister through his IT cell during Operation Sindoor. Narendra surrender. He goes around in election rally, says, "ये तो आपके वोटों के लिए नाच सकता है." He doesn't even address him as one must address an elder. I mean, I'm talking about the lowest hanging decency. Akashdeep Muni or Tehseen will say no, but the Babs have been from both the sides. Yes, they have been. But Rahul Gandhi, in his last few years, has become wild as a leader, which is not expected of him as the leader of the opposition. Why is this becoming a hallmark of the Congress is one question we must really ask. Is this about political disagreement? Is this about policy disagreement? Take another example. ये आदमी वोट चुराता है, वोट चुराकर प्रधानमंत्री बना है. Is this how a leader of an opposition, of a democracy, the world's largest democracy, supposed to address the prime minister? And this is not about the entire Congress. Now, again, there are genuinely people in the Congress who want to engage on BJP on terms of people's welfare. For them, even today, the country's progress, the welfare of the people, the economic growth, everything surpasses political disagreements. But you see what happened when the GST reforms were rolled out. Gabbar Singh tax hai, ye to kuch nahi ho raha hai. I mean, I don't know what's really up with Rahul Gandhi, but he's unable to read the room. This is one thing I think even Tehseen will agree with on me, that he's unable to read the room, and in his narcissism, he's doing more bad for his party than good, actually. And therefore, we cannot have this bromance as we had in the United States. We can never have it in India because the Congress today has a trickle-down effect. The one on the top doesn't want this bromance, but the people on the bottom, the people, the workers, the karyakartas, the state level, executives, the state level leaders, the district president, all of them, they're happy to engage with the BJP on matters of policy, except one man, and that is Rahul Gandhi.
Right. Tushar has a valid point there. And Dr. Akashdeep Muni, I want to ask you, because after Bihar elections as well, a lot of people from the Congress party only tried to suggest that no, stop blaming SIR, stop calling it vote chori, look at what's happening within your own party. So don't you think Dr. Shashi Tharoor is also among those well-wishers in the party who would want to see party going up, provided somebody tells the high command that this is the thing that you need to be doing, something that's not really happening?
See, of course, Mr. Tharoor would love to want the party to grow. But Hinaji, you should also mention that you were talking about why this bromance is not happening in India. You should also mention that PM Modi has not conducted any joint press conferences in last 11 years like Donald Trump and Zohran Mamdani. So ऐसा कैसे होगा जब कॉन्फ्रेंस ही नहीं करते हैं?
अच्छा, कॉन्फ्रेंस करेंगे तो फिर राहुल गांधी जिस तरह के शब्दों का यूज करते हैं प्रधानमंत्री के लिए, वो बंद हो जाएगा?
ओके, उसके लिए कॉन्फ्रेंस नहीं करते. आप मीडिया पर्सन होके ये बोल रहे हो कॉन्फ्रेंस नहीं करते क्योंकि राहुल
नहीं, मैं आपसे सवाल पूछ रही हूँ क्योंकि मेरा आपसे डायरेक्ट सवाल था. On the basis of what Dr. Shashi Tharoor has mentioned today. You gave me an answer that, there is no press conference, joint press conference by Rahul Gandhi. We're talking about one second. We're talking about two different issues here. Do you have an answer to the specific question that I asked you?
I have an answer if you want to listen like you listen the other two.
Sir, I always give you time.
Questions. Tharoor ji seems to talk about BJP's approach to governance rather than Congress, which prioritizes ideological alignment over inclusive decision making.
Have you read what he had put out?
Yes, I have read.
Have you read? Can I read it out for you? One second. I'll just read it out for you. It will bring some clarity. He says, and I'm verbatim quoting him here. This is how democracy should work. Fight passionately for your point of view in elections with no rhetorical holds barred. But once it's over and people have spoken, learn to cooperate with each other in the common interest of the nation. You are both pledged to serve. I would love to see more of this in India. and I am trying to do my part. He's speaking for himself and for the party that he represents. When he says, I am trying to do my part, he will not be talking about any other political party, right? What does it mean? What is he trying to say? Is he trying to show the mirror to the BJP or to the Congress party?
Listen to me before replying or stopping me. I am saying that when he states that both of them should come together, the opposition and the government, he's talking about the Bharatiya Janata Party who is not coming together. Okay. For instance, in Tamil Nadu, which is DMK ruled, Governor R.N. Ravi has stalled over a dozen bills since 2021, including key legislation on online gaming regulation and NEET exemptions. In 2024, the Honorable Supreme Court criticized Ravi for, and I'm quoting the Honorable Supreme Court, acting as an agent of the center. The same happened in Kerala, which is again LDF ruled, where Governor Arif Muhammad Khan withheld assent to 9 bills in 2024. Regarding use of agencies in politics, you must know that data from May 2025 shows that 98% of ED cases are against politicians targeted opposition leaders, with a conviction rate only of 5% of the 25 opposition leaders probed for corruption.
What is the point that you're trying to make?
2014. Only 23. Remember,
what is the point that you're trying to make here?
After joining BJP, the point I'm making is that it is BJP who is after the opposition, not wanting them to work together.
Okay.
इसीलिए Supreme Court को बोलना पड़ा कि they are acting as the agent of the center.
RP Singh and then Tushar Gupta. Okay, Tushar wants to respond first. Yes, go ahead.
Let's take all of the arguments made by Akashdeep Muni on face value. Let's assume that the BJP does not work with the opposition, that the BJP is targeting the opposition. The opposition is the nationalist force, Akashdeep. Why would Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge then skip the Independence Day event in Red Fort in New Delhi on August 15th? Why? Today, Rahul Gandhi, the kind of culture he's creating within the Congress, they're sort of encouraging skipping Independence Day celebrations at the Red Fort. That is not about the BJP, that is about India. And the Congress wants to skip that because why? The BJP is in power. All your arguments taken on face value, but when today opposition happens for the sake of opposition, you cannot claim victimhood that, oh, there is something wrong with how the BJP operates. Your own leader is saying, let's skip the Independence Day celebrations, a day when the entire country is together, irrespective of our political disagreements. Okay. And you here are saying, oh, press conference together. That doesn't really add up, Akashji.
Okay. Tehseen, policies definitely can be attacked and should be attacked. That's the job of the opposition. But can political rivalry be allowed to become enmity, something that we are witnessing these days?
It shouldn't. It's unfortunate, but it shouldn't be allowed to become. I think we need to bring back civility into our political life. When Prime Minister Vajpayee ji, then not Prime Minister, was unwell, Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi ji extended the courtesy that he could go as a United Nations Indian representative and get treated. And similarly, Prime Minister Vajpayee ji extended a lot of courtesy for the Gandhi family and etc. That's how our politics is. That's essentially how India is as a nation. I think we need to get this bitterness out. I think we spend too much time in trying to sort of get down the path of attacking each other personally. And I think some of it comes from lack of gravitas, of making larger points of attacking on policy. To attack on policy, you'll have to read about the policy. You'll have to understand the policy. You'll have to have a different point of view. So sometimes it's easier to just make it a personal attack. So I think that's what's happened on both sides. I think if we can take a step back and actually do more policy reading and less personal animosity, India will be a happier and a better place and a more vibrant democracy.
Okay, RP Singh.
Well, I have to show you another video today. There's a lot of things which are there on the record. Here, Rahul Gandhi.
Normal situation में मेरा कम opposition का role है. सरकार पे pressure डालने का role है.
So, issue is not constructive opposition mean opposition. I mean, he goes by verbatim by the word of opposition. I mean, opposition means that you have to build consensus, you have to build up consensus policies. I told you there are many policies where Atal Bihari Vajpayee went out of way to support the government because they were the national interest. So problem with Rahul Gandhi is that he uses foul language. I mean, Tushar Gupta was rightly saying he uses two tadak for the Prime Minister Modi. I mean, that's not the way you behave in the political domain. But that's how he has been taught, that's how he has been groomed now. I mean, I'm sorry to say this. It's very sad that the leader of the opposition doesn't behold the role of the leader of the opposition, which Vajpayee used to behold.
Okay.
Okay. Just quickly, Butler.
Okay.
The language also used for the honorable leader of opposition sometimes has been slightly offensive. Balak Buddhi, for example, in parliament, etc. The other part to it is, and let me ask things up this or Tushar, when has the government gone forward to the opposition and said, look, except for the one where they wanted to impeach the earlier, when they wanted to impeach one of the judges, the earlier Allahabad High Court judge, that earlier Delhi judge moved to Allahabad. When has the government gone on a policy decision to the opposition, said, let's sit down, let's talk about this, let's bring in a bill? I think for NJAC they did it once. They haven't done it for anything else. Even on the farm laws, they did it by a voice vote. When the opposition kept saying, let's have, the numbers, let's break down the numbers. So the government must also reach out. Look, running the house, as I always say, the responsibility of the government. The house belongs to the opposition. What's happening today in parliament? The government disrupts parliament. I think it's both sides. And both sides should take that one step forward and, embrace each other rather than both sides being hostile.
Okay. Tushar, do you think perhaps we need more people like Tehseen Poonawalla in the parliament? People like Tehseen should be sent to the parliament by the Congress party. Perhaps then we will have more bonhomie, like what we saw at the White House. Tushar, quick response and then RP Singh. Yes.
I'll tell you what I told Tehseen. Tehseen should be in 10 Janpath advising the Congress leadership how to really operate their party within this crisis. That's what Tehseen should be doing. But Heena, one simple point. I will still emphasize that there is a minority within the Congress led by Rahul Gandhi and a bunch of 4-5 other leaders who cannot even win a mohalla election, who today are unwilling to accept that this country has voted Narendra Modi as the Prime Minister, not once, not twice, but thrice. They have this reluctance in acceptance, and that is what drives this lack of bromance and this ample of disrespect that we see every day.
Okay, RP Singh, closing comments, then now Dr. Akashdeep Muni, 10 seconds each, please.
Tehseen, you are forgetting that before every parliament session, the leader of the party, the ruling parties hold a meeting. I remember Rajnath Singh ji also holding a meeting with the leader of oppositions and then describing them about every bill, talking to them about every bill which was proposed for the parliament. But if you have thought of it that we have to oppose each and everything, since you are in opposition, you say I am in opposition. So God bless such opposition. And people will keep rejecting such opposition.
Okay, Dr. Akashdeep Muni, 10 seconds.
Heena ji, we all know that what Ramesh Bidodi said against Danish Ali. We all know what Chandrakant Patil, the former BJP Maharashtra chief, said against Supriya Sule, that go home and cook. क्या-क्या गालियां इन्होंने दी हैं और उसके बाद ये bonhomie की बात करेंगे.
तो उन्होंने अगर गालियां दी हैं तो आप तो bonhomie की शुरुआत के बारे में सोच ही नहीं सकते. Then why do we hear things like Mohabbat ki dukaan and all such phrases coming in from the other side? Anyways, I'm completely out of time. I'm happy that at least in this debate the panelists argued but did not fight. Of course, we'll be taking the story forward ahead as well. But for now, thank you very much all of you for joining us here on this debate.